Justin, what does your message say on the T?
My message says, I'm not wearing my readers. In every moment of life, you should be what you ought to be. What you ought to be.
What you ought to be.
Yeah.
That's right.
How do you know what you ought to be, though?
There you go, that's the question.
So this is deeper than you might suspect.
Absolutely, very deep, because what do you really know what your potential is and what you're supposed to be? How do people really...
You can make your own potential. You can make your own ought to be.
That's right.
Depending on what.
I'll read mine. Let your energy be used to build, not destroy. Yes, I can be a destroyer, right?
Isn't that the function of Shiva, though?
That's right, the destroyer.
Yeah,
Shiva the destroyer.
Who's responsible for transformation. Right, so these 1/3 the Brahma, Vishnu and
Shiva.
Shiva.
Yeah, Brahma is the creator. Vishnu is the sustainer, preserver. Yeah. And Shiva is the destroyer. So he destroys everything, all the obstacles and all the unnecessary things.
Yeah, think about the old flooring that had to come up when you I remember that. I remember when we came into the studio and there was a quart inch of water.
We could swim.
Because we had plumbing issues. So we had to clear out the old flooring and damaged drywalling, etc., in order to bring something new in, and you had to clear out old furniture, blinds, etc., in order for the studio. And I was mentioning to Mark on the way in. This place has evolved so much over the past 5+ years that I've been coming here.
More? I think you were here more than 5 years. 5 years?
6 years.
We've been open for 9 years.
Right.
January is going to be our 9th year anniversary.
Yeah, somewhere between 5 and 6 years I think I've been coming here. But every 6 months or a year at least, there's something new here. And that's and that requires you to clear something out. It's the same thing with people. We don't radically change all of a sudden typically, but we have to kind of get rid of old habits and sometimes we can sort of reflect on that or initiate it by going into our closets or our bedrooms and clearing out old clothes.
And adding new.
Yeah.
So let me tell you a little story about my beautiful friend.
I didn't get to read my tea.
I'm sorry, I apologize. Yes, what?
Just forget about me.
Yeah, you're the technical guy.
An attitude of gratitude brings opportunities.
Ooh.
Which is true. I mean, in today's world especially, a lot of people talk about the right attitude, or like the entrepreneur that I watch a lot, Gary Vaynerchuk. I show mom Gary Vaynerchuk.
Yes, Gary is wonderful. Yes, I've learned a lot from Gary, from my son, because he was the one who introduced me. I actually went to see Gary in Orlando because of Mark.
Yeah.
Yes.
He always says that. He always says that there's all these people that have wealth and all those things, but they're not truly happy, and because they don't express the happiness that the world needs. And when you express happiness and gratitude for everything, then people start coming around, new opportunities come around, and new faces. And just like at the studio, we're friendly, we have welcoming arms, and we allow everyone.
Talking about it, I just, what pops into my head, the quote from Jim Carrey. He wishes everybody to be rich and see how it is really, what really, I don't know if you came across Jim Carrey, the actor.
Yeah.
I recently read his quote somewhere that he would like everybody to be rich and see what really makes them happy, that the money doesn't make them happy, that the monetary or the abundance of money and wealth doesn't really make you happy. If you're not happy within yourself, nothing's gonna make you satisfied, or nothing's gonna make you be happy, basically. So, talking about coming back to our lovely Justin Martz. How I met Justin. I remember Justin came to the studio for the very first time with a broken rib.
Oh man.
Yes. Yeah. And he came to my Ashtanga class.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, initially I called you to inquire about the teacher training.
Yes.
And I mentioned to you that I had taken a spill on my bike. I think maybe a week prior. I was on the trail over at Starkey Park in Newport Richey, where I live. And of all the stupid things, it just goes to show you the importance of mindfulness. I was riding my bike, and there was a bug or something, going around my eye. So I leaned forward to try to flick the bug away from my eye, and my handlebars go like that, which means the bike immediately stops. I go into the handlebar and fractured one of my ribs, and that was very painful. So I called you, I think like a week or two later, and I said, I'm still recovering from a broken rib, but I really want to take teacher training, and that's coming up like in another couple of weeks, I think. I kind of got in late. Will I be okay? Will I have to like skip some parts of it? And you said, no, you're fine. We hardly do anything. So I went to your one of your Ashtanga practices in the other room.
Yes.
To meet you and see the studio, and
that was still here.
Yeah, that was already here.
Yeah,
Yes.
that I think I just sort of sat that one out to observe,
Yes.
that I could observe. But a week or two, or no, maybe a month into our training, I was still really sore in my ribs.
I bet.
We did our Ashtanga weekend, and I thought I was going to die. Even if my rib was fine, I probably still would have been completely exhausted by the end of class.
That's the goal. That's the goal, to exhaust
She's
you.
like, no, it's nothing. It's really, you'll be absolutely fine.
And he was, and he still is here teaching.
Yep, that was going on 6 years ago.
Yes, and also Justin is part of our teacher's training. He teaches the lower limbs of yoga. I think that's coming up in March, right?
Yeah, well, I switched because of the weather being warmer.
Yes,
in
because we
October.
have a field trip. Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
we decided to swap. So
Justin is part of our teacher's training for the last 4 years, and we're very fortunate to have him. I always call him my philosopher, but philosophical part of our training, and the way he talks with so much passion about all those. He also teaches the history of yoga, so it takes a special person, just like Justin, to teach that part of training. So Justin Martz, tell me, why yoga? How? Because I know it's a stigma around guys, and from what we see at the classes, majority of classes are women, especially in small towns like Spring Hill, Florida. Why? What triggers you? What attracted you to the practice?
Well, formally I got pulled into yoga through an old girlfriend, and at the time I was just looking to get fit and supplement the weightlifting and calisthenics that I was doing at the time, which was injuring me. I was constantly getting injured in my shoulders from lifting too much weight. So at the time, my girlfriend said, hey, I've got a friend who owns a yoga studio. I go, at least every other week or so. Why don't you come along and just try it? And I was reluctant to, like a lot of guys. There was this sort of stigma that mostly women do yoga, and it's kind of like
tight pants,
kind of new agey, whatever. But I went, and it was a lot harder than I expected. It was not Ashtanga. It was just I think it was my first teacher was more of a Iyengar style teacher. So we used straps and blocks and props. But it was great. Growing up, when I was very young, there was a different kind of stigma attached to yoga and meditation. And that was that it was something kind of sinister, because I had a very strict Christian upbringing. And so there was this weird idea that meditation was clearing your mind of all thoughts, and that was a gateway for the devil.
Wow.
So that probably, that you know, that previous stigma kind of probably led to my interest in the philosophical side of yoga, including meditation. Well, you know, at some point I probably thought to myself, is that true? You know, well, what would actually happen if I tried to clear my mind?
And if you entered the gate
And
of
it didn't
devil,
happen. Yeah, it didn't happen.
You didn't see him? No, he didn't come and visit you. No.
Well, I can't go there, but
No, not yet.
yeah. So the philosophical side of yoga was something that became, my interest in it became a little more apparent later on. When I started to see the threads of connections to traditional yoga and meditation from the Western esotericism and occultism that I was interested in. Everything kind of went back to yoga and tantra, oddly enough. So I thought, well, that's interesting. I started to investigate a little bit. So when I came to teacher training, I was excited to see that you guys do discuss, you know, the branches of Patanjali yoga that deal with withdrawing the senses and learning to focus your attention and regulation of the breath, not just
Awesome.
physical practice,
Yeah.
right?
No.
Because those other parts are very integral, and one of the things I try to do without skipping too far ahead, if we're going there, I try in my classes to bring everything back to focus on the breath and, you know, meditation.
And that's the key. You know, if people only practice asana and they just turn yoga, asana yoga into fitness, there's no benefits. They might as well go to a gym and just lift weights or go on the treadmill.
I mean, there's still some benefits, but I mean, the majority of the Western world has completely transformed it into the asana, where you're not focusing on the breath so much or on the mental health, on their mental health as much as their physical health.
As I said, it became a trendy, bendy practice with the tight yoga pants or yoga tights. And it's just
so even if you're flexible and strong, that doesn't mean that's the only person that can practice yoga. Everyone can practice.
Absolutely, because you know, what if something happens? You know, God forbid you get into an accident or just age. You know, over the years of abuse, or not necessarily abuse, but just living, you start to develop less mobility in your shoulders or your hips or your knees. And also, you know, an overemphasis on asana, especially, you know, thinking that you can do the same things in your 40s as you can in your 20s. Some of us can, some of us can't. You know, we get injuries from yoga, and that's something that's so common and maybe not talked about enough. So as you get
because
older,
everybody's hiding it. Even the yoga stars in the United States, everybody's hiding the injuries of sameness of the practice, like Ashtanga practice that I was trained in. When you do everything the same every single day, you're prone from the injury. It's a wear and tear. It's like anything.
We have a comment from Travis. Travis just commented that meditation leads to uncovering of our shadow self, the things we suppress and don't want to look at. From that perspective, meditation leads to the discovery and eventually healing of the devil inside. I love the philosophical side of yoga.
That's Travis, our Travis the Mohan. Yes, he's going to be a guest at our tea talk as well sometime in December or when I return from India. But we want to collaborate with Travis to do a yoga retreat on his property in Brooksville. He has 20 acres and it's going to be mainly focusing on meditation. So Travis, we will still talk. I still have it in my head, you know, that I'm leaving to India and it's just right before holidays. Everything is just, you know, my head is just racing. So Justin, my biggest concern is That's why Mark and we opened this tea talk, because we are like, I have over the course of years that I've been practicing since I was younger. So I was in my 20s. Mark was 1 year old when I walked into the first yoga practice. And over the course of years, I see humongous shift. Yes, good and bad things are happening to yoga practice. Where do you see yoga heading? Yoga as elements of yoga, not just asana. I know that asana, the part of the physical part, is taking over in the United States and around the Western world. And the reason for me to go to India is to bring more of that true essence of yoga, elements of yoga, not just part where you jump around and do a circus on the mat. Where do you see yoga heading?
That's I really don't know. I wish I knew, because I'd know where to invest. As far as the 8 limbs of yoga, what I would personally like to think is, well, first of all, like as we were saying at the beginning of when we were getting ready, trends and whatnot, hopefully less commercialization of yoga. That would be great. I think. I mean, I'm all about people making money by selling quality products, and that's fine. But that's where you, in my opinion at least, that's where you start kind of muddying the waters of what yoga is, and it becomes a thing where people present their vision of yoga that may have nothing whatsoever to do with the original intentions of the founders and the teachers of these schools and lineages, just to sell products. I don't know. I hope it's not going to be as commercialized as it is, but I'm realistic, and I think that that's not going away. Hopefully people take the teachings that we have available from the classical texts, and they don't try to repeat or mimic them, because we're not living in the 1300s or the 1400s. We're not living in Patanjali's time. We're Westerners. We have technology, and we have tools, and we have diverse cultural influences around us to draw upon. Hopefully we can do something that captures the spirit of ancient yoga, but brings us forward into the challenges of the 21st century. I hope that doesn't sound like, prescriptive or like,
No. It sounds great.
So I don't necessarily want to see, or I don't personally want to try to mimic or recreate ancient yoga. I'd like to take the technology and kind of strip away the intent of what people were trying to do and reformulate it myself going forward with the materials available to us. As to what other people do, I would like to encourage them to do that, and I try to do that in my classes as well as in teacher training. But what people do with that information is really up to them.
It's really up to them, absolutely. I thank you, sir. Our time of tea talk is coming close to the end.
Oh wow!
I know.
Yeah,
it goes
30
fast,
minutes flies by
and it goes
quick.
really fast. You can take Justin's class on Saturday. He's teaching Peaceful Mind Yoga on Saturdays at 10:30. Hopefully at some point he'll take over his Monday class, but right now I'm teaching it. And I know it's much easier for me to teach because I live 3 minutes away from the studio. Justin is coming all the way from Trinity to come to our studio and teach classes here. So it's quite a bit of drive.
Did you live in Trinity before? Or
Richie.
Technically Newport Richie.
Newport Richie,
It's
okay.
so close to Trinity that it might as well be. And
Yes,
that's where all
it is.
the cool
It is.
things are
It's a
happening.
far drive for him. So we are fortunate to have him on Saturdays. Please join him and really try to get the teachers that are enforcing the 8 limbs of yoga in a yoga practice at the studio, not just because it's pretty, not just because they have beautiful yoga pants on. So try to follow the teachers that are living it and following it. So
focus on the breath.
Yeah.
focus on the breath. That's right. Once the breath is gone, yoga is gone. And once the breath is gone, all you do on the mat or on the aerial class becomes a circus. So next week we are going to have Christine Farrow on our T-Talk, and we probably gonna stay live for our gratitude class. So Mark probably will set up.
Thursday, yeah.
Yes, Mark will set up an equipment, so we will have a live class. Christine will come on for a little bit, and she will talk about her contribution into the studio. She's a teacher here as well, a new teacher, a young teacher, but we would love to hear what she has to say. So that's next Thursday in the morning, and we're just gonna continue with the live presentation of gratitude class presented by Ray and myself, and Mark probably might teach a couple of things as well. So that's about it for today.
Well, I still have one more. We still have time. We still have 10 minutes.
What do you mean?
We have 10 minutes.
We can run to 9:15. That gives us time.
Yes, but people have to get to work. But what would you
I
like
have
to
one more
add?
question for Justin.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
what do you plan on doing with the next in the future with yoga? Like, what is your plan?
You know, no, I know that. It's the same thing that I try to do every year when we go to the teacher training, when my weekend gets close. Pull out the books and just start reviewing the material, and also, look for something more and look for a way to integrate the experiences that I've had in the previous year into my teacher training. Yoga is not about, again, recreating the past. It's about working with the tools at hand, and the most important tool is anything that brings you to your breath, that connects you with the sensation of your breath, and makes you more mindful in your day-to-day activities of your breathing, of your movements, and encourages just general mindfulness. So my personal goals going forward is to have more experiences, to travel, to integrate more ideas and philosophies, and extract from those things that I can feed back into my personal practice and into my training to offer to students. Not so that they practice, what I'm saying or a specific tool or whatever, but so that they can also begin to adapt these tools and
to build on their own knowledge.
Yeah.
And
That's
if you
more
live
important.
close to Trinity, Justin also teaches at their local YMCA.
Yeah.
And you also teach at Gypsy Air, right? You teach for
Gypsy Air
Jess
Yoga at
Yes.
Jess Miller's studio down in Tarpon Springs.
Tarpon Springs.
Yeah.
And
They're kind of a sisters. I think you and Flo and Gypsy Air are sort of sister studios.
Yes, yes, Jess took our training as well. She was your student.
It's so amazing to see
Yes.
people who I've had the privilege of connecting with when they come into teacher training. Many of them are already quite experienced when they come to the studio. They've been practicing for decades, some of them, far longer than I have. And you get to hear from them. Every teacher training weekend is such a gift. And I'm very grateful. So in the spirit of Thanksgiving, I'm very thankful to the students that come into class, because they ask questions, they're attentive, they offer suggestions that I integrate into my practice and teacher training. So it's a great feedback loop between, I'm not like preaching at them saying this is what you have to do. I'm also looking, from them for suggestions.
Absolutely.
And some fantastic people have come through these doors and gone out and done great things, whether it's starting a studio or traveling abroad.
Or even starting a class, starting to teach a class.
Yeah.
You know
yeah,
what
I
makes
mean,
us
everyone.
such amazing people, amazing teachers? Because we're students and we listen. We
Yes,
listen
always.
to what
Yeah, we
others
have
have to
to.
say.
Yeah.
Because if you become this guru that on the pedestal that is untouchable, unattainable, then you lost it. Then
Right.
then it, the key to the success of what we do is being humble and being always a student and always listen.
Yeah, you can't fill a full cup. If you think you know everything, there's nothing to learn, and what's there to experience in life?
Exactly.
Humility. You have to have humility of yourself.
Yeah, you have to have a certain amount of humility. Also, so that you can see the things that you need to learn too. You have to be somewhat aware of your blind spots and the things that you're not quite getting. So.
I agree. On the happy note, let's cheers to that.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you guys so much for having this studio for the years that it's been open. It's a great place. It's always evolving. And it's very new. Yeah. Now you have a format for sharing ideas and encouraging people to come and practice and be mindful.
Yes, I'm thankful to my son that he came up with this because I think he sees the demographics of people that come to the studio, and he wants to draw a younger generation, and he wants to break that stigma in this town that yoga is for everybody, not just for pretty girls. And yoga is for everybody, and everybody. Anybody can practice. I always tell people, if you can breathe, you can practice. Even people in the bedridden can practice. Simple movement, control of the breath, and that's yoga practice. So
and we really need it too. If you've driven through Florida on US 19, we know the importance of mindfulness.
Yes.
I was hit by someone just 5 blocks away from here, and if that, a couple of years ago. I was, slowing, I had my turn signal on, I was making the turn, and someone just, was not paying attention, just ran right into me. So what better place to practice mindfulness and breath discipline and the tools of yoga than when you're doing something like driving on the road. So that's an example of how practical
it is. There's road rage over here.
It's road rage.
Always kuruva.
No, I don't think.
Your little tag.
Yeah. That's right, my little tag.
Yeah.
It's
Nelson.
beyond me. It's beyond me how people drive in this town. It's beyond me. Like, I just don't understand.
In Florida in general.
But that's okay. That's okay. That's another topic. That's another.
For another day.
That's another topic for another tea talk.
Okay, now we are really out of time. We have 3 minutes left. I have one more announcement before we get off the live stream tonight, or today, this morning. Tonight I will, not tonight, next time I'll be posting the YouTube video. We're doing the giveaway on the YouTube video this time for this YouTube video. We are not doing it on a live stream. We need more views on YouTube. So go check it out. Tonight I'll be posting last week's live stream. But I will be also last week's podcast. But I'll be posting today the giveaway, and I'll be announcing it next Thursday on when we have our Thanksgiving. So Thursday morning, next Thursday, if you watch the YouTube video tonight, I will let you know who is the winner.
Okay.
And what the prize is. You'll see.
You gotta be.
You gotta
millions of dollars.
Yeah,
that would be nice.
maybe a free class, maybe a t-shirt.
Even better.
Or,
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So Mark, just open our YouTube channel. We'll have movies there, not only from the live stream. We also will have little classes. If you have any requests to post class to help your well-being.
Maybe just a talk with Justin on philosophy of yoga, or Nelson, or Rain, anyone, all of our teachers. We can have a sit down, just philosophize.
You do it, allow people to drop in on one of the weekends just to.
That's right.
Experience
That's
the
right. To
teacher
see.
training.
That's right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Or see Justin on Saturday morning at 10:30 when he teaches a class. He's always offers a friendly ear after class, so you can catch him before and after and during class. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for supporting our community. Thank you, Justin, for being part of
Thank you for
our
having me. Yes.
House of Live Yoga family. And I'll probably see you on December 1st for our Christmas party.
Yes,
At the Thai,
absolutely.
or local Thai restaurant.
I'll be there. Where there's food, I'm there.
Yay, fantastic.
All right,
Thank you guys.
guys.
Have a wonderful day.
Thank you.
Namaste.